In a quiet little village, 16-year-old Annia lived with her simple family. She worked hard but struggled with school. No matter how much she studied, she couldn't pass her exams. Each failure made her feel worse, like she was letting her family down. Her classmates seemed to do well without effort, while Annia's dream of making her parents proud fell out of reach. She often sat alone, feeling defeated, wondering if she'd ever succeed. One sunny afternoon, Annia sat in the yard, staring at another failed test paper. Her heart felt heavy, and tears stung her eyes. Her grandmother, a kind old woman with gentle eyes, noticed her sadness. "Annia, let's walk," she said softly. They left the house and wandered through the village, the warm breeze brushing their faces. Annia stayed quiet, her thoughts tangled with worry. Grandma didn't push her to talk, just walked beside her, patient and calm. They stopped by an old, twisted tree near their home. Grandma sat on a bench and patted the spot next to her. Annia sat down, still clutching her test paper. With a soft sigh, Grandma began to speak. "You know, Annia, I was a lot like you when I was young. I faced failures that felt too big to handle." Annia looked up, surprised. She had always seen her grandmother as strong and wise, not someone who struggled. Grandma's eyes looked far away, like she was seeing the past. "When I was your age, I wanted to be a doctor. I dreamed of helping sick people in our village. But we were poor, and school was expensive. Still, I studied hard every day, believing I could change my life. I passed my school exams, but when I went to the city for the big medical school test, I failed." Grandma's voice grew quiet, and Annia leaned closer, listening. "I'll never forget that day," Grandma said. "I walked home with that failed test in my hands, feeling ashamed. I thought I'd disappointed my family and myself. People in the city laughed at me. They said I wasn't good enough and should give up. I felt like my dream was gone." Annia's heart ached for her grandmother. She knew that feeling of failure too well. "What did you do?" she asked softly. Grandma smiled, her eyes warm but tinged with sadness. "My father, your great-grandfather, said something I'll always remember. He told me, 'Failure isn't falling down, Annia. It's staying down.' Those words stuck with me. I was hurt, but I didn't give up. I went back to the city, studied harder, and tried the test again. I failed again and again, but each time, I learned something new about what I needed to do better." Annia's eyes grew wide. She had never heard this story before. "Did you become a doctor?" she asked. Grandma shook her head. "No, I didn't. But I didn't stop trying. After years of hard work, I became a nurse instead. I helped people in ways I never expected. I found a new way to live my dream. Every time I failed, I learned something. That's what kept me going, learning and trying again." Annia sat still, her grandmother's words sinking in. For the first time, she felt a spark of hope. Maybe her failures weren't the end. Maybe they were just steps, showing her what she needed to learn. Grandma gently touched Annia's cheek. "Failure doesn't mean you're weak, dear. It means you're trying. And as long as you keep trying, you're growing. The only real failure is when you stop." A warmth spread through Annia's chest. Her failed tests didn't feel so heavy anymore. They weren't the end, they were lessons. Each mistake showed her something new, something she could do better next time. Grandma's story made her see that failing was part of growing. It wasn't about being perfect, it was about keeping going, no matter how hard it felt. Annia looked at her test paper and smiled a little. Grandma squeezed her hand. "You're not failing, Annia. You're learning. Every step, every mistake is helping you get stronger. Keep studying, keep trying, and you'll find your way. Your dreams might change, like mine did, but they'll still be yours." Annia nodded, feeling lighter than she had in weeks. She wasn't stuck. She was moving forward, one lesson at a time. That evening, Annia sat at her desk with her books open. The words on the page didn't seem so scary anymore. She thought of her grandmother's story, of trying, failing, and trying again. Each failure was a chance to grow, a step towards something better. Annia picked up her pencil and started studying, determined to keep going. She didn't know where her path would lead, but she knew she wouldn't give up. In the days that followed, Annia worked harder, but with a new mindset. She didn't expect to be perfect. Instead, she looked for what each mistake could teach her. When she got a question wrong, she studied why. When a test was hard, she asked for help. Slowly, her grades began to improve, not because she was suddenly perfect, but because she was learning. Her family noticed her effort and cheered her on, proud of her strength. Years later, Annia would look back on that day with her grandmother and smile. It was the moment she learned that failure was not a wall, but a door. Each mistake was a chance to grow, to learn, to get closer to her goals. Perseverance, she realized, was the key to unlocking her future. And as long as she kept learning and rising, no failure could stop her from shining.